bask in the glory. Every other weekend there's a cognac story. Before we give a toast, better make sure they pour me another glass and put it in the air for the time that passed. I said bask in the glory. Every other weekend there's a cognac story. Before we give a toast, better make sure they pour me another glass and put it in the air for the time that passed.
All right, man. Yeah, you know, we'll get started whenever, man. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Right,
I'm back 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. That's what. Hey, just a precursor to the fans. If you hear a loud ass fucking dog in the background, it's coming from me. It's not on purpose, though. Don't worry about that shit, man. But yeah, yo. So how you been, man? This is once again Cognac Stories presented by Torian Meacham. I am Torian Meacham. Listen, some people say I'm a little bit misogynistic, you know, because of some of the shit that I've said about women. That's not true. But if I am to be that, then call me the minister of misogyny. All right, you know, the deacon.
Who says that?
The deacon of the double standard, man. Because you know, I was talking about some of the women that I dealt with in the past on the last podcast and before, and some women have seen the pattern of me, you know, going with crazy women and then complaining about it later, which that is a pattern. I know I'm doing that. Help me. You know what I'm saying? You don't help me by pointing out the flaw and then not offering me any kind of constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, yo, fuck all that, man. Fuck all that shit. We're not here to talk about my relationship problems. We're here to talk about the goings on in the world today, man. So I got my man, Big Julio's in the building. My man, how was your weekend? Anything new in your world, man?
We just got back from Disney, and I would recommend, unless you have tickets that you have to use before they expire, stay home.
Stay for real?
Home. Yeah, I mean, you know, especially if you have kids, it's not the same Disney right now, and so but then, you know, we also had 3 kids constantly yammering, and you know, I mean, but you know, it's all love. You do the stuff for the kids, but it wasn't let's say it wasn't a getaway for me. It was
okay.
You know, but you know, you'll start to experience that as your daughter gets older. So
I'm not taking my daughter to Disney World. I'm boycotting all that shit, man.
Yeah, you say that now. You say that now. I'm just
saying, man, like, yo, the only black Disney princess they had was a fucking frog, bro. I'm not with that, man. You know what I'm saying? Give me a real black Disney princess. And Brandy does not count when she was Cinderella, because Cinderella already exists. Give me a brand new Disney princess, man. And then, maybe I'll fucking come aboard the let's go to Disney World train.
Well, I think that'll be changing once your daughter says, "Daddy, this," or "Daddy, that." You know, she glimmers and smiles, and you be like, "I saw you post that picture today with you and her."
I'm gonna teach you that
sweeter side of you today. I saw that.
No, I gotta put that shit out there, man. Because you know, when you see me post a baby picture like that, I'm about to come with some wild hot takes on the podcast. So I gotta let these people out here know, hey, I'm a human being. I have emotions. But listen, man. The reason why you tune in is because you want to hear the opinion of somebody that's not beholden to some corporation or, you know, or some other corporate endeavor. You come here for the real, man, unfiltered. The same talk that you would have at your own kitchen table at the barbershop with your boys playing cards. That's why you come here, man. That's why this is Cognac Stories. It's an acquired taste. It's not for everybody. You know, it doesn't go down, you know, as smooth as a mixed drink or cocktail. You know, it's an acquired taste, you know, for the refined palate. And that's what this is. All right. That's what this is.
How was your weekend?
It was all right, man. I broke my diet. I was like super healthy all last month and shit like that. You know, I got my waistline back and my abs and shit is popping. So I'm ready for the pool season here in DC. I don't know if that exists. And yeah, man, I had every chicken sandwich on the market. All right. And listen, man, that McDonald's chicken sandwich, no disrespect, bro, it's not fucking with Popeyes, man. Yo, dog. I had it, and it was decent. It was an improvement over the classic chicken sandwich and the McChickens, but the Popeyes chicken sandwich, first off, it's on steroids. Like y'all use like a regular piece of chicken, which is cool, right? And Chick-fil-A does the same thing. Popeyes chicken sandwich is like this fucking big. It's not regular chicken. It's full of HGH and steroids and shit, pump full of water. And that's why it's good, man. That's why it holds the juices, because it has so many steroids pumped into it. All right. But no, I had like 4 Popeye chicken sandwiches over the weekend. And I had the McDonald's chicken sandwich, and I had the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken joint. I got some Chick-fil-A right over there too, man. The nuggets. And I just ate one of them damn spicy chicken. I'm fat as fuck, bro. Cause I did like a whole month of, strict training and working out. And then this past week, starting from last Friday to this Friday, I kind of broke my diet. I'm back working out again and shit. I'll be back on that, for April, So ladies, in the summertime, when you see me at brunch, with my floral shirt and short set that matches, all right, with my loafers with no socks, and I ain't got no undershirt on, and my chest is out, that's I'm putting in the work now, so I can come to brunch with, no shirt on, just a hat.
So you can make another shorts. Baby.
Nah, bro, I'm trying to catch me one of these sugar mamas, dog. They got all these women out here in DC, super educated, lovely, classy, graceful women. And I just want to be, here's the plan, right? If they have a kid already, bro, I will be a stay-at-home dad for both of our children. You know what I'm saying? And she can go out and bring home the bacon. And if it's turkey bacon, I cook that shit right up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the trick, bro. Listen, fuck that. I'm not trying to find love. I'm trying to find security. You know what I'm saying? I'm over that finding love shit. I'm about to go into this, how like your mom told you how to date, or they would tell their daughter, find a man that got some security. I'm trying to find a woman that can provide me security. First off, being with them being mentally secure. After that, we're good, man. So I got a little drink right here, man. I got a little bit of drink in my cup. Got some it's not cognac, man. I got Bombay mix of raspberry, blueberry, brambleberry fucking thing. Hold on, I'll get it. I'm bugging right now. This is not a paid endorsement, but the shit is good as fuck.
With tonic in it, with gin in it, I mean.
Yeah, and it's a blackberry and raspberry. It's Bombay Bramble. It's 43%. Yeah, it's good. It's good as shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sipping that right now with a little splash of cranberry. So I'm getting right for the night. But yeah, man. I don't want to get to the shit. The crazy shit first. I definitely want to start off with prayers and condolences to the family and friends of DMX. He's in a coma right now, and they're saying that he's in a vegetative state. The last update that we had is they're going to have a doctor come in, a neurologist, and run tests on him to check his mental capacity. Because if he's in a vegetative state while he's in a coma, then it's up to the family whether they want to keep him on life support and have him in a coma until he recovers, or they want to pull the plug and and euthanize him. Essentially, they be euthanizing the dog. That's not even like a joke. That's wild. Like his family's going to have to decide whether to euthanize the dog, and that's what's going on right now. So prayers and condolences to DMX, legendary human being beyond rapper. And I know on the last podcast we're talking about the Demi Lovato situation and celebrity drug addicts, and DMX's situation is a little different. I don't know if you saw the clip that's running out where he was tricked into doing crack for the first time, and he was with like an older gentleman. He thought he was just smoking a cigarette or like weed, and it was laced with crack. That's when they would lace blunts, lace joints all the time with crack cocaine. And one of his older homies passed him a lace blunt, and that's what got him hooked on crack at, I want to say 13 or 14 years old. And that kind of changes his perspective on that, because I'll be the first person to say, I don't really feel any empathy at all for, celebrity drug addicts. But when you have gone through the trauma that he's gone through at such a young age, and it wasn't a choice, like he said, I'm going to go try crack, like a lot of these childhood celebrity, debutantes and stars are. This was, you thinking that my older homie is giving me something, you know, whether it was a joint or a beer and it was spiked, whatever, you trusting someone and them violating your trust. And now that shit is addictive, you know? And we definitely know if you have a history of addiction in your family, you can be genetically predisposed to be addicted to things. And that's what he got caught up in. So it kind of changed my perspective on the whole, just on drug abuse and why some of these guys get hooked on things. It changed my perspective in his situation. I put it like that because I didn't know that I thought he was just like, yo, I'm gonna get high because I like crack, but that wasn't what it was, you know. And then he fell victim to the cycle of addiction. So I want to put that out there. But yeah, man, it's like he's not absolved from having any fault for what happened because it's like, yo, how you had an overdose. You know what I'm saying? So that means you were actively using drugs. We're not talking about weed or alcohol, right? And then like who's around him? You know, like who's your handlers? Like he just recently got out of jail, if I'm not mistaken. And I do recall Swiss Beats going online saying that he would make sure nothing happens to him. And I don't think it's been a whole year, maybe 2 years that he's been out. And he's possibly dead right now, man. And that's heartbreaking because you saw him, do the verses and he's getting his flowers while he's still here. And he's coming, in DMX working on an album and all this good stuff. And then, just from the people, just the support system you have around you, not being able to be strong for you in your moments of weakness. And then, now we are about to, possibly lose DMX. And that's just my thoughts on the situation, man. It's very tragic. Addiction is a very real thing. It's a disease. Yeah, and we just gotta be thankful for the ones that we have, and for people that are fighting addiction, like you can't be an enabler, and if that means holding somebody accountable or them not liking you anymore, then hey man, so be it, But those are just my thoughts on DMX and his overdose and subsequent heart attack. And now positive COVID test as well, and being in a coma. So your thoughts on the situation?
Well, it's dark and hell is hot, I when I think of anytime I hear DMX, anything, it just brings me back to a place in hip hop that was really great. I think,
Oh yeah.
When Def Jam and I and it's not so much like with Jay-Z I do it more with like the DMXs of the world, or Cameron or some of them, because it just was a really good time for hip hop during that span of time that he came in. Rough Riders. I remember you dumbasses would play that Rough Rider album all the fucking time. And, we'd be on the fucking bus and y'all sitting there be rapping that dumb shit all the whole, just for our listeners. I listen to rap, but I'm not into all that rap. I'm not a rapper. I'm not into that shit. I was into the money.
I like rap.
I mean, I like listening to it, but I wasn't into the rapping part of it. And I also like money. So,
Yeah, man, you was fucking with Selena, man, and
fuck you.
Mario.
But I think it's it goes back to what we talked about in terms of with the Demi Lovato situation is, addiction is very powerful, and if you can't overcome it, there's only really there's two ways out of it. Either you're going to get out of it or you're going to die. Or something's going to lead to the cause of your addiction is going to lead to your death at the end of the day, and like I watched a little clip of DMX with his son, and which I thought was a very I thought he was being exploited, and anytime I see that, when I see someone who's under the influence and they're putting them on camera, they don't really know, and it's sad to see those images of him, I think, because that's not the DMX that I think we grew up with.
Nah.
DMX
so was fucking Thanos and shit. He was the hardest motherfucker ever.
Yeah, and so it's and one of my all-time favorite movies is Belly.
Belly, yeah.
Belly's like, and when he was hitting old girl from the Bronx Tales and blew her fucking back out, and you know what I'm saying? And he's like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, Keisha. Let me tell you something. So that's if he pulls out of this, if he pulls out of this, it'll be that would be great, but it sounds like that doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I'm being optimistic about the situation. I think, which we all should be, until we get the news. But it is sad, and I think um, it's again a cautionary tale for young kids, young entertainers that are coming in to be mindful of not, because Torian, you talk about the handlers, and sometimes the handlers are the ones that are the worst ones to have around
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
They're the ones, and I think you have to be very careful who you choose, who you have in your circle. Like I kind of feel like my circle, like I'll just take myself for instance. Like I never had a large circle, but I always kept it a tight circle,
Yeah.
and I think that's important, and you have to really understand, because your net worth is your network. And so the people you have around you tells a lot about the individual that you are. If you have a bunch of bum asses around you, people are going to presume you're a bum ass.
Yeah,
If
you
you
are
have
the
a bunch of
company you
junkies
keep,
around
man.
you, exactly. And so, I think it's a tale of, again, just people who are just a life lesson in general. But I think it's sad, and I don't want to remember DMX like this.
Nah.
That's not how I want to remember him. So I wish him and his family all the best, and I wish his children all the best, and I hope that they can make peace with the situation.
Yeah, I mean, because he's not the first rapper that we've lost to, drugs and alcohol and addiction and abuse. We lost Old Dirty Bastard, one of my favorites. We lost Pimp C. We lost DJ Screw. Shit, man. We lost a couple Southern rappers. I want to say Lil Troy, the Fat. Damn, fucking Big Mo. Then the young cast, they lost Juice World, Mac Miller. So it's something that has affected multiple generations, man. Like our generation and the new generation, man. Just with drugs, and it's wild, man. Like you ever been like spiked something or given something that you thought was something and you found out that it wasn't? Like somebody like dropped the fucking, what I'm saying, like ghost drop or something like that, or you got a spike drink, or.
When I was running behind, there was a period of time where I used to run behind, and mind you, I'm saying run behind, but I was older than my brother, but with his crew, and they would go out, to the parties over there on Webb Street, and we would go get the you would go get the bum to buy the liquor for you, where the old liquor store was across
Classic
from the
move,
post
classic
office.
move. Yeah.
Yep. And so and my brother and his friends were very big into marijuana, and I felt like, I had to be a part of that run.
Yeah.
And I remember the next morning I woke up with the worst blotches on my neck.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah, these brown blotches on my neck, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck that was. What the hell is that?
That's my soundboard, man.
That's a piece of shit. That's a piece of shit, whatever it is. But I remember it was like, and my brother was like, Julio, you got all this. And I was like, well, what the fuck were y'all giving me? And he's like, oh no, and he said I don't know if I had an allergic reaction to it or what it was, but I remember that. And I think that was the only time that I've ever felt not in control. I've always been mindful, even when I went to college, I never let anyone pour my drink, or anything like that. I didn't really experiment with drugs. I did do marijuana in college, but even that was like in a controlled environment. I didn't have brown blotches on my neck then. But I've never allowed anyone, I never felt like I got slipped a drink, I don't know how about yourself?
No. Never been slipped a Mickey or anything like that in my drink. And I don't smoke with anybody, right? There's probably only one person, maybe two people I used to smoke with back in Hawaii. And I don't smoke with people like that. So it's only like I do all my drugs by myself, right? I do, and even like when I'm out with other people, like I normally try to drink the least amount so I can like catch shit like that, because I'm one of the motherfuckers that believes that I've seen it happen before. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen somebody get dosed up, I've seen that shit back in high school, you know what I'm saying? And that's what like made me fucking paranoid. Yeah, because I'm telling you, I was thinking, I was like, when was the last time like I was like wasted, like fucked up. Like I can't even like really think, like really recall. It's been like maybe a decade. You know what I'm saying?
Really? I got
No,
fucked up
I'm
for my
lying.
35th.
I'm not lying. I'm lying. No, last time I was like really, really fucked up. I might have been in Japan. So that was like 2016. That was like 2016. Yeah, that was like 2016. So that was the last time I was like truly fucked up.
But there's a different version of that too in terms of alcohol, where I've seen people, they have constantly given people drinks. They're not laced with anything, but they're like, let me get this person, fucked up so I can either I could try to take advantage of them, or I just want to see them act like a fool, and I think that that's another version of abuse to alcohol or drugs in the same token. I think that could sometimes be a form of it, but just that one time, and I tell that story often about the brown blotches to because I just don't know what the hell it was. I must have had an allergic reaction to it.
Yeah, that's wild, man. That would like scare me forever from doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And I mean, I waited 20 fucking years because I was in the military and shit. But now, hey man, hey, smoke weed every day. That's what I'm gonna say. But yo, to go on to a little bit better things, man. Uber has to pay a blind woman $1.1 million after drivers stranded her 14 times. So Uber was sued in 2014 for discriminating against blind people and their guide dogs, and agreed to change that as part of a $2.6 million settlement 2 years later. But apparently that didn't entirely happen. So Uber will now pay an additional $1.1 million to a blind woman who says that she missed work, missed her birthday celebration, missed Christmas Eve church services, and was left out in the dark, in the rain, and other such humiliations because Uber drivers refused to carry her and her dog on 14 different occasions, a number of which happened after Uber finalized its 2016 settlement. That's fucking wild. I'm a little mixed on this, right? Because do they know she's blind? Like that's the first question, right? Do they know she's blind? Because if I just see you with your dog, right, and I don't know that you have a service animal, or I don't see the service vest on them, right? I'm gonna think that's your pet dog. Me being the dickhead I am, I don't drive for Uber, but me being the dickhead I am, I'm not picking you up. I fucking hate dogs, right? I don't like dogs. So I'm not gonna pick you up. I'm gonna cancel your ride. And that's what they're thinking, right? Or I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, if she's, because this also doesn't say whether she's like legally blind or like blind as shit. Like I walk with a cane and I can't see at all, and I know karate, that kind of blind, right? No, like she might be legally blind with with a service animal, right? But that's still fucked up though, because it's like, there should be a way for her as the customer, and they do have that now, where she can go in and notify the drivers that she has a disability, whether you're hearing impaired or whether you have a service animal, that kind of thing now. And so yeah, but it's like, damn, bro, like a blind woman can still get a car faster than a black man can, because I've had my fucking cab canceled plenty of fucking times by Uber and Lyft for no reason at all, except for my profile picture. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So so congratulations to her, man. Get paid for them stranding you 14 times. I would, if I'm blind, I'm getting all the money I can get out of you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that, pay me. That's all I got to say about that, man. But the real question is, did they know that she was blind? And I know that's a feature now, but I don't think it was then, that you could make it on your profile that you had a disability. Your thoughts?
So I'm gonna take a different spin on this. I actually think Uber is innocent, right? And I'm gonna tell you why my theory on this is. Uber is the intermediate between the person who is asking for the service and someone who provides the service. The drivers are actually independent contractors. So the person she should be suing is the independent contractor, in theory, because the independent contractor decided that they wanted to be biased against a person with a disability. which in turns would mean that the drivers need to start carrying some personal liability insurance as well, so that they don't do dumb shit like that. I think that that's one of the things that I don't, how you ever heard of the law hasn't caught up with the technology?
Yeah.
And I think that this is an example of it, Torian, is where the law hasn't caught up with the technology. Uber is a third party vendor, that allows people to say, hey, I want to ride. You have this app that I can use to get a car. But I also know that Uber screens their independent contractors, to make sure that they have these things in place. But if a driver decides that they're going to make a unilateral decision that they're not going to pick up a person with a disability because they should have to comply with ADA, right? Which is the Americans Disability Act. Then that driver, who's the independent contractor, should be the one that should be getting sued, in my opinion. And that goes for a lot of these, because you have Instacart, Uber Eats. Now, if Uber did something wrong in saying, hey, we don't want you picking up people with dogs, or we don't want you picking up, and I don't know if that's the case, Torian, but if they said specifically that shut up, that we don't want you picking up blind people, then I feel like Uber would be fought. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I just feel like the law hasn't caught up with the technology.
That's that's a good point, man. That's a good perspective. A lot of folks are going to say that's that's because you're Hispanic and you guys are known to slide with the Republicans. Like, yo, that's that fucking make America great again type shit, But no, I can definitely see that perspective as well with them, because they that's how they try to put a lot of the blame for things that if somebody gets raped. That's how it's like, hey, Uber didn't rape you, the driver did, and that's why you can't sue Uber for something like that. But I think with the handicap, person issue, it's a matter of the driver being allowed to just cancel that ride without due cause, and so it's like a systemic problem, and it's like because they can just cancel on you for any, they don't have to give a reason when they cancel on your ass. They can just cancel. You know what I'm saying? And so, but if you cancel your ride, you got to give a fucking reason, and you don't always get a refund, blah, 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 and that's the thing, man. But I use Uber, and I'm in DC, so I use Lyft a lot around here. I use Lyft. So yeah, man, it's all crazy. I hate driving. I mean, I love driving, but I hate the toll that a car takes on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I loved having, BMWs and Benzes and all this other shit, right? And it's like it takes a toll on you, man. Like I fucking hate it. I hate washing the car. I hate putting gas in it. I don't like what the car does in the environment. And I'm like, fuck, I could just take Uber or take the fucking train or I'm buying a bike this weekend. And I'm like, I can just do that, man, and not fuck up the environment, but yeah. That's not what any woman's going to hear. They're going to be like, you don't have a car, you're a scrub,
So I'll give you a quick example, Torian. Like I remember we took a Uber one time. It was like 5 of us, right? And they said, oh, we can fit 5 people in the Uber, right? So they advertised that this Uber at his
the driver counts as one person.
Okay. Do you know what his 5th seat was?
The trunk?
A beanbag.
What the fuck kind of car was it?
It was like it was almost like a minivan, but it had the captain seats in it, Torian. Yeah, I think, but maybe it was 6 people. Whatever it was, we were like, well, where's this person going to sit? He's like, oh, I have this, and we're like, so should I be able to sue Uber for my money back in terms of or should I go after the driver because it's fault for advertising? The driver's the one that said he has this.
Yeah, I mean, you could have filed a complaint with Uber and got your money back or something like that. But that's actually pretty fucking funny. I would take a picture. Like anytime I got an issue with Uber, I just take a picture or I record what's happening and I just send it to them. I've had to get refunds before for like drivers canceling shit or like a driver saying some wild or like I've been in a car and the driver is like on some like fucking Donald Trump is God QAnon type shit. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, fam, you gotta shut the fuck up. Like, I'm not trying to hear this shit right now. He just wouldn't stop. So I had to snitch on him on Uber, like, yo, this motherfucker's a whack job. Like this motherfucker's QAnon, dog. Like he's looking for Q. Like he's out here thinking Q's gonna come in his cab, bro. Like he's on that weirdo shit, man. But yeah, man, lot of wild shit going on. Georgia's been super busy, man. A couple things going on in Georgia. I just want to touch on. We had the Georgia legislator arrested, pulled out of the state capitol as the governor signs the new voting bill into law. And that was the controversial elections bill that put increased restrictions on who has access to voting. So video of the incident shows Cannon, Representative Park Cannon, who's a lawmaker, also works at the State House, being handcuffed as she knocks on Governor Kim's door, arguing for transparency of the bill signing. She was then forcibly removed from the state capitol by 2 officers and surrounded by more while repeatedly identifying herself as a legislator and was placed into a police car. So she is out of jail now, but she was charged with 2 misdemeanors under state law, obstruction of law enforcement or preventing or disrupting General Assembly, according to police. And she was released on a $6,000 signature bail. So that is a Georgia lawmaker being arrested for trying to watch a voter restriction bill. In response to that voter restriction bill that got signed by Georgia, Major League Baseball decided to relocate the All-Star game. This is going to cost Georgia $100 million in tourism money. The estimated lost economic impact of Major League Baseball's decision to move its All-Star game out of Georgia over the state's voting restrictions is more than a $100 million loss, the tourism ministry said last Saturday. And that's a huge thing, right? Because baseball is America's pastime. One thing that's also America's pastime is racism. And to see baseball take this stand and move the All-Star game from Georgia is shocking to me. It's absolutely shocking. Not only that, it's not just Georgia that is introducing these new voter restrictions. 47 states so far have introduced more restrictive voting laws. Hold on real quick. Lawmakers in 47 states have introduced bills that would make it harder to vote. So all but 3 of our states, and I will get those states for you. The big 3 with the new bills are Texas with 49 bills, Georgia with 25, and Arizona with 23. So just new bills to make new voter restrictions. And what states? I want to say it was like Rhode Island, Vermont, and some other shit. Don't quote me on that, but it's only 3 states that aren't trying to introduce new voter restrictions. And also with that going on, Dell, American Airlines, and AT&T are now weighing in on restrictive voting bills in Texas. So they're talking about taking their business out of Texas for these restrictive voter bills. One thing that people don't understand is that they think it's just about having ID. And they're like, well, the voter bill is just to make sure you have an ID. And these are normally libertarians or white people that don't fucking know about voter suppression, gerrymandering. They don't understand that, after the Constitution was signed into law and people got the right to vote, blacks didn't get the right to vote until the Civil Rights Voting Act, which then formally protected our right to vote, right? And so it's like, hey, man, you guys have been fucking with our right to vote since rights were invented in America, right? And it's not just about having an ID card. It's about who can man the polls, giving food and water to people that have been in the lines for hours. They're changing the distance where nonpartisan services can be. They're changing the voting hours for early voting and weekend voting, because some people can't take off work because voting, like election day, isn't a holiday in every state, or in every business doesn't give you that off. And it's more than just that, from where the poll stations are located, everything, man, to fucking voters being automatically purged from rolls, to voter, I can't just request the absentee ballot because, I'm out of state or I just don't want to go. You have to have like a fucking, like they want you to come to the poll and waste that time. And I see that as just like you see the turnout that Black and brown folks had in the past election, and you had 2 states, Arizona and Georgia, flip from red to blue, and that was because of the Democratic vote, because of the Black and brown vote. And you had all these restrictions that were kind of eased because of COVID with the expansion of mail-in voting, and you got this great turnout in early voting. And you've seen the Black and brown folks turn at the polls and flip 2 states, and now they're trying to do everything in their power to just maintain the status quo, man. I know that was a lot to cover, but that's just like all in Georgia and Texas right now, and it's about voter restricting and the reaction by corporate America. Now you've had MLB pull their business out, and now you've got Delta, United Airlines, Dell, American Airlines, and other companies talking about taking their business out of Georgia because of their political stance. Your thoughts on big business reacting to, civil rights issues?
So let me start by this before I get to the big business. What Georgia and Texas are doing is what I would call the new Jim Crow. One of the things that we, like you said, Torian, we learned from the election is if people are given true access to vote, then the true will of the people will happen. And that's what happened in this past election in 2020 is that, while it was shocking that the election was so close, even though it really wasn't close, but that the other guy got so many votes, it showed that what happens when you have true access. And, and that's what we need. We need true access. We need people to be able to vote. We need people to be able to get out and really change the way this country is thinking. And the unfortunate part is that those large numbers only come out four times a year. And because of that, that's why you're seeing all of these bills being passed. If we came out in the numbers that we came out in presidential elections, we would be able to make a huge shift in the legislative bodies in all the states throughout the country. If you look at states like Georgia, if you look at states like Arizona, if you look at these states, they're one of the things. I was watching an episode of Morning Joe, and I remember Joe Scarborough saying that even when the Democrats win, we lose. We lose because they win state houses. And what else do the state houses do? They do the redistricting, so that you can decide which congressmen are going to be. And if you've ever saw the gerrymander, they had a whole documentary on gerrymandered and how they'll, fit these puzzles and how they make them work. And so, I think that it's important that, people understand that you just can't vote every 4 years. You have to vote. And I'm going to say something. When I do vote on off presidential years, I vote Democrat. I don't know the people, but I vote Democrat. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm honest. I'm being very, very honest. I have voted Republican one time, and I regret it because I thought he was different, but he showed his true colors with Trump, and that was the second term for Chris Christie. I voted for him. I did the second time. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did. I actually, if you rewind the tapes to when he was governor. The first term, he did a lot of things, and I was still working for the state. He actually gutted the state when I was working for them, but I liked a lot of the stuff he was doing. I was a homeowner. There were things that he was putting in place that I did appreciate, and I was like, this guy means business. He's not a bullshit artist. He's doing what he wants. He's doing what he's supposed to do, and he's not your typical politician. Fast forward, he's kissing Trump's ass, and I'm like, I regret that vote, but I did vote for him. But
man, Chris Christie has always been a fat fuck and a piece of shit. He's always been an opportunist. He's always been a greasy fat fuck. He shut down a fucking bridge, you know what I'm saying, on a political rival. Like, what a fucking piece of shit. When the fucking beaches were shut down, Chris Christie went to the fucking beach because he had to work on his fat fucking tan. He's a greasy fuck. He is a human piece of fucking pork roll. Fuck Chris Christie. Fuck that piece of shit, man. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to go on this fucking rant over this fucking piece of shit. And I'm not fat shaming, but he's a fat fuck. He's like a human fucking pig snout, bro. Like I hate that guy, man. I don't. That's my thoughts on Chris Christie, just in case you're wondering, man. But yeah, I do get you, man. With we need to vote more than once every 4 years in any small elections because that's what determines, who the sheriff is. That's what determines who the school board is, things like that. And people always, question the curriculum and what's going on in the schools and local government and politics. And it's like, yo, like all that shit, like city manager and your fucking board of education and all, like, yo, you guys vote on that. You gotta be active in the community. Like that's way more important than reposting some fucking hashtag or going to some protest. Get your ass to the polls because that is going to do that. I'm not going to say that's going to do more, but that's an actionable item, as opposed to you holding a random sign up or hashtagging something or just forwarding some fucking chain, mail on the internet, man. But yeah, Georgia is fucking crazy right now, man. Georgia's fucking nuts.
But and so again, Georgia, they need to respond by coming out to vote to get rid of these legislators that are in power. Now, to the business side of this, what the Major League Baseball did is huge, and it has a two-prong effect, right? So there's tax dollars that the state is going to miss out on, number one, but also jobs, right? That those people that were working aren't going to have, and so I think that it's a shame that has to happen for the potential people who could be working. That's what it's a shame for. But I think that these states need to hear it. I think that I think what the corporations are doing, it's not going to be enough. It really needs to, I think it has to be a two-pronged approach in terms of it has to be businesses plus the people, the will of the people getting out to vote. You have to get out to vote. There are people who voted in this election who never, ever in their lives voted. They got to continue to vote. If you, between that, and I'll tell you another thing that I know I got this, I forget what I was reading, but the other reason why we can't move the needle in terms of what I would consider an agenda that would give us a better society, the great society that LBJ talked about, is because people that have a more liberal-minded view on social issues, we're in these cities, these urban cities, and we really need to spread the fuck out. We need to move and live in some of these more rural areas so that we can, because our vote gets concentrated. And because of that, we're not making, if 3 million of us live in, and I'm just throwing this number out, I don't know, but 3 million of us live in New York City, we're still only going to be able to pick one congressman, or whatever it is that we get in the makeup of New York City. But then if you look at the rest of the state of New York, that could be all red. And what if that's 4 or 5 seats? And again, I don't know the what the actual makeup is, but you have to look at that. I look at a state like Pennsylvania, right? The concentration of people that live in Pennsylvania are in Philadelphia and in Pittsburgh, but there are congressmen still throughout the state, and it's a very rural area. And so until we, and when I say we, I mean me and you and others that think like us, say, hey, I don't need to live in this very blue county. I can live in a red county. And if enough of us start saying that, then we can really flip these counties. But until then, we're going to continue to have these problems, But if business puts, and it has to be like huge things, like, is Delta really going to move? I mean, think of the tax credits they're getting out there in Texas. You know what I'm saying? I mean, are they really, really going to move? Or are they just sending a letter out saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is what we're thinking. But are you really going to move? Where are you going to go where you're going to get the kind of tax benefits that you're getting right now? You ain't getting it in New York City. I can tell you that right now. You're not getting it in New Jersey.
Hey, man, I think it's all, that's pretty bold, to say, hey, like, we don't agree with what you're going to do politically, so we are going to potentially hurt business or not open up flights, to your cities, you know, or pull an all-star game, you know, like that's nuts. I still can't even believe, that's fucking crazy to me, you know, because it's like, especially when I just think about the racist history of baseball, you know, and I'm like, baseball is like leading the fucking way. Like you haven't seen any other sport, you know, league do something like this. You have the NBA, you have players make stances and start movements, and I think the league with them allowing to have, you know, the phrases on the back of their jerseys last year in the bubble season, that was dope. But that wasn't anything financial. That wasn't saying, hey, like we're gonna pull the NBA All-Star game away from this city because you guys are signing in, you know, voter restriction bills. And that's just fucking impressive, man. So, you know, shout out to, you know, it's capitalism with a conscience now, man. That's what I had this conversation with my guy who's like this big philanthropist, and he's like, yo, if I can't make $1 without you know, making somebody's day decent, I don't want to make it, you know. And I'm like, hey, man, that must be fucking nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all right, man. I can't be upset about that, bro. But also in Georgia, after the Ahmaud Arbery murder, Georgia has repealed its citizens arrest law. So Georgia lawmakers gave final passage last Wednesday on a bill to repeal the state's citizens arrest law, acting little more than a year after the fatal shooting of a black man pursued by white men who they said suspected him of a crime. That was Ahmaud Arbery. The state house voted 169-0 to approve to approve Senate changes to House Bill 479, sent it to Governor Brian Kemp for his signature, and he signed that into law. And so, you know, it's wild, man. It's like, all right, you see Georgia, you know, do something that's progressive like this, which is end their citizens arrest law, but then they take 10 steps backwards by fucking having these voter restriction bills and these voter suppression bills. But it's good to see, you know, hey, we ended citizens arrest. That should have never been a thing anyway. That was citizens arrest is some racist shit, and it's just so white people could pretend to play sheriff and just fuck with black people. That's what it was, man. It was so white people could be deputized and fucking arrest black folks. That's all it is. So they could start mobs. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit is on. You only see that shit in the southern states, man. You don't see nobody up there talking about something like goddamn citizens arrested. Get your motherfucking citizens ass dealt with. Get fucking shot, stabbed, and slapped up in this motherfucker. You know. But now you always see. I mean, you see the same thing happen with Trayvon Martin. That was George Zimmerman trying to make a citizen's arrest down in Florida, you know, and you've seen it a million times, man, where, you know, you got somebody opening fire on a car, teenagers, because it's too loud, or, you know, walking into somebody's house that's in an Airbnb, things like that. So, you know, I'm glad to see this kind of progressive move forward, but, you know, it's like it's wiped away by them in their voter restriction bill. Your thoughts on them ending their citizens arrest law?
I think he's doing a magic trick here, right? So he was trying to show you this because he knew what was coming. And so it's almost like he's like, okay, we'll give the minorities this little crumb because we're about to strip their rights again from them and restrict them as much as possible. You know, Brian Kemp is a douche. This is the same guy who ran for governor and
stole the fucking election.
Exactly. You know, and so, you know, while I think he thinks he was a hero for what he did in terms of the thing with Donald Trump. But, you know, the reality that was to me a win-win situation because, you know, there's still this thing, particularly in this, I want to say it's like in the South and Southwest, you know, they're still huge into the state rights. It's almost like sometimes those governors are their like presidents, like mini presidents.
Yeah.
You know, the way they run things. You know, it's even, you know, it's interesting because really, if you think about it, the only one that's really set up like the president is like New Jersey. New Jersey is the only place where the governor is the only one elected. And he appoints everyone else. You know what I'm saying? Every other state, it's every government office is like elected. You know, like they have to have an election for everything. But what I found in the South, it's almost like the governor's king down there. You know, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Louisiana, even though you don't really hear much, you know, out of them, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, South. I mean, that whole southern corridor, anything below the Mason-Dixon line, it's like we're just running amok. And they're huge on those state rights. They're huge on it, man.
That's America's tank, dude.
It is.
That whole fucking underside of the map, dude. I know. I'm sorry, Southern listeners. This does not apply to you, all right? But you know what I'm talking about, man. Like that whole little under gooch area, that taint area, where all the fucking it's just uncircumcised America. That's what Florida is, anyway. That's uncircumcised America, and it's just all these just fucking weirdos running around down there. And speaking of Florida and all the weirdos, bum. Congressman Matt Gaetz. This motherfucker has been losing his goddamn mind. So according to the Justice Department investigation into Representative Matt Gaetz, he has been indicted on his involvement with multiple women who were recruited online for sex and received cash payments, according to people close to the investigation, and text messages and payment receipts reviewed by the New York Times. So obviously he has been listening to the show, because I'm a fan of Cash App and the hoes. And apparently that's what he was doing. So the women that he was paying for sex and buying drugs from, they got receipts. They, like, the fucking DOJ pulled up the Cash App receipts, and they have text messages with this fucking guy soliciting sex and drugs. Oh my God. Damn, man.
How you think he lost all that weight? Coke.
Yeah, hey man, I guess they said I don't know what the fuck they say he was doing. What was it? Ecstasy? Who the fuck, bro? You old as shit doing ecstasy. That's sus, bro. You're sus. If you're over 30 and you're doing ecstasy, and you're straight, you're sus. I'm sorry, dude. Like, why are you doing that, man? If you're over 30, just do heroin. Fuck it, man. Just do heroin or smoke weed like a regular person. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like, what the fuck kind of weirdo? You sitting there, elected official, Cash Apping. But I mean, you had the same thing happen to Andrew Gillum down in Florida. Buying. And he wasn't paying for pussy, but he was buying butthole. You know what I'm saying?
He was about to get a banana in the tailpipe. That's what he was about to get.
Them motherfuckers on that goddamn that was in 48 hours. Not 48 hours.
No,
Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah.
You're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, fucking Andrew Gillum. Shout out to him, man. And also shout out to Congressman Matt Gaetz, because you're about to be fucked. We seen him, Cuomo, all these guys, man. They just caught up in all these sex scandals, man. Maybe all the QAnon dudes are right, man. Maybe it is some kind of weird sex cult, some motherfuckers are soliciting teenagers like he was. That's what I guess they said she was 17, one of them that he was sleeping with. Shout out to him, man. I mean, is in Florida, age of 16, age of consent 16. He'll go to jail probably. And he'll probably, I don't know, man. He's fucked. That's all I'm gonna say. You got any thoughts on this guy? He's fucked.
Yeah, I'll read this. I want to read this. Following an argument with then Representative Cedric Richmond, Gaetz said he had been living with a 19-year-old immigrant from Cuba, Nestor Galban, since Galban was 12 and considered Nestor his son. He later clarified that Galban was the brother of an ex-girlfriend and has spent time with his sister, Gaetz's family. The two are not related genetically or legally. Gaetz says our relationship as a family is defined by our love for each other, but not any paperwork. He called Galban a local student, 25, and said he's my helper. When you hear, and it's in quotes, my helper. So you know what that means. So
that
like you said about him having, okay. And I remember reading. All right. So
yeah.
Okay. He's a wild man. That's all I'm gonna say. It seems like them boys from Florida, they wild. That's what it seems like
man.
to me.
Hey, listen, man. Whatever floats your boat, bro. Whatever floats your boat, man. Like,
I think
he was on some Woody Harrelson. He was on some Woody Allen shit. That's what the fuck he was on. He had him. He got him a little fucking immigrant, just like Woody Allen did. Got him a little brown baby and then groomed him to be a little fucking sex slave. He's a weirdo. I mean, but shout out to him, man. He got elected.
Well, he has gotten elected, and he's a dangerous one. He's another dangerous one, and I think he's one that has to go. And the unfortunate part is this scandal. I don't think he's gonna go behind it. because that's become the norm, Torian. It's like you get, it used to be like in the 80s and 90s, except for Bill Clinton, you have a sex scandal, you got to go. But with, Clinton and Trump, it's like, nah, I ain't going. Nah, I'm good. So, they kind of set the standard.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Hey, do you hear that dog in the background still?
You better feed it chocolate.
I'm gonna kill that motherfucker, man. Yo, shout out to Peter, the people for the ethical treatment of animals. I'm not really gonna kill it, dog. Jesus fucking
And that
Christ,
was a joke about the chocolate as well. Okay.
Yes. I'll feed him a chocolate fucking turd. That's what I'll feed him. But yo, speaking of animals, let's talk about the fucking pigs. All right, cops. That was an awesome segue, and that's where the PBA, the police, the Police Benevolence Association, that's where your ad can be if you want to sponsor this podcast. But so there's been a huge outcry for law enforcement officials and law enforcement officers to get training on mental health, social services, psychology classes, etc., etc. So several states, one state, California, lawmakers introduced legislation on February 11th that, among other things, will require prospective officers to complete college courses that address mental health, social services, and psychology without requiring a degree. In New York, lawmakers in January proposed an effort to require law enforcement to complete a minimum of 32 credit hours of training that would include techniques on de-escalation and interacting with people who have mental health issues. In at least 34 states already require officers to have training or other education on interacting with people who have physical or mental health conditions, but law enforcement experts say that updated training is needed and agencies are way far behind. So you can see, and just in the world of, and I the phrase that I hate, that everybody hates, defund the police, right? So you can see one of the things that people, wanted was, an expansion on mental health services and training for law enforcement officers so they can know how to deal with somebody having a mental health crisis, or having a mental health professional go along with an officer when they're responding to one of these crises. And so now you can see states, that are responding to the outcries of the public and the protesters that are saying, hey, why do I need more training to be a barber than to be a policeman? How come I have to go to school longer to be a beautician than a policeman? Why is it longer to be a plumber than a police officer? And now you see states, are trying to step up, they're trying to increase the standards, man. And I can salute that, because we need to improve the quality, not just the quantity of law enforcement officers that we have. And, just by increasing the standards, you'll be able to get a better candidate, and by having them train in what we know we know mental health is a dynamic field. It's still new to us, right? And so it's like, hey, why wait until you're a cop and we're trying to teach this shit to you, and we can just make you do it before you even get in here, so you already know what it is, and they're going to be in a college environment, so they're not getting taught by, some officer who's jaded as well against mental health. They say this is a professor teaching you, the ins and outs of, the mind and mental health. So, I think it's a good idea, man. And, this is just the fruits of the labors from everybody that's been out there protesting and holding those signs and fucking taking the knee and making noise. This is what the fuck the result is, is states improving the quality of officer that's going to get hired now. So hopefully, this shit sticks, man. And, we get some better people in there, man. Your thoughts on states increasing training and making mental health training a prerequisite now in order to be a police officer?
So I think it's again, this is the third podcast where we've talked about the police in terms of things that have been stepped up, right? The funding. And again, I am not an advocate of defunding the police. I want them to show up at my house if there's ever
law and order
robbery.
Law and order.
And so, so I think it's great, but I want to tie this to what we were just talking about when it comes to voting. This is how these things happen. If you vote in elections in your states, in your municipalities, in your county, This is how you make effective change. Your vote can make these changes. To all my woke warriors out there, it's great that you're standing out there with your signs and you're protesting, but did you vote? Did you vote? And not only did you vote in a 4-year election, did you vote in your local elections?
Yeah, the one that matters.
Because the one exactly, because that's how these changes happen. Budgets are, while the federal government does help fund state budgets, the states have budgets as well. Counties have budgets, municipalities have budgets. And if you don't like something that's being funded, vote the person out so you can get what you want funded. That's how, I just gave you civics 101, guys. That's okay. I gave you civics 101, and you don't have to go to college for that. That's civics 101.
That's
and so I think it's great that there's going to be this constant involvement. And the reason why I'm talking about the vote touring is because
Oh, you cut out, bro. You cut out.
Programs.
Yeah, you cut out.
Things to go.
The whole thing, just whatever you started to say, say it again.
Can you hear me?
Cut out.
Can you hear me? Man, I got good internet too. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me though now?
I can hear you now.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I was saying was
I can't hear you.
You can hear me?
No, you sound like fucking R2D2 right now.
Oh, man.
Just go. Just go. Fuck it. We're doing
what
it live.
What I was saying was that the minute that someone gets into office that does not like, they're going to put the money. Damn. All right. Yeah. So what I was saying was, okay, you're moving. There we go. So what I was saying is that the minute that someone gets into office that doesn't like that this funding is going for these things, they're going to defund them. The first thing they do is they take away these social programs, certain trainings they think that officers don't need. They go into, like you said, Torian, that law and order mentality with the billy club and the stick. That's what they think, and that's what you don't want them to revert back to that. So if you don't want them to revert back to that, get your ass up and go fucking vote.
Hell yeah, man. The power is the people, and the people have to go to the polls, man. Get your ass to the poll. Go vote. Vote or die. That's what they used to say back. Was it the 90s or some shit? The early 2000s when that was like vote or die?
It was Diddy. It was in 2004, the 2004 election, I think, when Kerry ran. Vote or die.
That was they were definitely pandering to the blacks.
yeah.
What a bunch of fucking idiots trying to get you to vote for John Kerry. Like he was about to do something. Mm-hmm. Listen, man, shout out to black people. Y'all vote for anybody. Y'all voted for Kanye. You blacks got to be stopped. You listen. I want to know. I bet you it wasn't 10 white people that voted for Kanye. But I bet you he got a lot of votes from black people that were like, "You can make Yeezys. You can make Yeezys." But I can't even be mad, man, because we elected Jesse Ventura and Arnold Schwarzenegger as governors. They were governors. We had Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse the Body Ventura. So those are like two of the main guys from the movie Predator as fucking elected officials, bro. Like,
you ever thought about running for office, Tori?
I have too much dirt in my closet. If I ran for office, all this, like, I give y'all motherfuckers a taste of what goes on in my life. If I fucking ran for public office, all that will come out and I might go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. I will be, once, because shout out to Joe Biden. He just said they need to have everybody eligible for the shot April 19th. So they said, every adult over 16 needs to be able to get a shot by April 19th. And so, now that they're opening shit back up and everybody's gonna get vaccinated up, or enough people to get vaccinated, I'll be back out in the community. So I will get in the, I will be politically active. I will do, community organizing, things like that in the DC area, but I would never run for office. Plus I'd be dirty. I'd be just like Matt Getz, buying butthole and paying for pussy. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would have bitches popping it on my big ass desk. I would have my aides just filming it and shit. I'd be dirty as fuck, bro. I'll be worse than Bill Clinton. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like Boosie. I'll be like Lil Boosie. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, put your pussy lips on IG. You know what I'm saying? That's me. I'm like, yo, oh my God, man. I'm just like, if I was president, yo, I would just have like the Constitution on like a chick's butt cheeks and make her clap the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of shit that I would do. That's why I can never be an elected official. You know, so yeah, man, fuck that. I would how about you? You're the politician. You can fucking run for some shit. Are you there? Because your fucking shit is frozen, dude. Yo. Who? What the fuck, bro? Your shit is frozen. Oh man, I gotta fucking edit the podcast.
What about now?
Bro. I hear your voice. Your fucking video is still frozen. All right.
Hold on. I'm gonna use my iPhone. Let me see if that works. Nothing? I got good internet. I don't know what. Torian, you got me?
I got you now.
Oh, okay, there we go. All right. I have a low tolerance. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good. You're perfect now.
Oh, okay. I was saying I have a low tolerance for stupidity. So I don't think I would be able to I don't think I would be able to bring people together to get
you're not a fucking the great uniter.
No, but you know, I not the great divider. I just think that it's you know, you do have to compromise, but what I is that we're in an era, you know, where compromise is not an option. It's either the left or the right, and there's nothing in the middle. And that's part of the problem with this country is that you either have to be very left or you have to be very right. And I think that there are my own politics. I do believe in a very social agenda. I think that there's some things that we need to do. We need a very social liberal agenda, but I also think we need to be fiscally conservative with things. I think if you actually looked at, you know, the New Jersey budget, I'm sure I could find a lot of pork in there that we could unload, you know, that would solve a lot of our problems. The problem is people are like, oh, well, no, we need it for this, or no, we need it for that. And it would almost be like that movie, Dave. You ever seen that movie, Dave? It would be like that. I would sit down with a pencil and paper and be like, well, do we really need that? You know? And I don't think our country is there. I don't think our states are there. And so to me, that would be very frustrating. I'm a guy that likes to get shit done. If you ask my wife, she will tell you, when I say I want to do something, I want to do it and I want to get the shit done. I want it off my plate. You know, I don't want to take, you know, 2 years trying to pass a law. I just don't want to do it. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Larissa would make a good first lady though.
Bro, like you can't smoke weed. You know, you can't get like Obama. I don't know how he got 2 terms with the shit he was having barbecues. Obama was having barbecues at the fucking White House. When I turn on TV and fucking Common and Serena Williams are at the White House every fucking weekend, and John Legend and fucking Jay-Z, he's having kickbacks. Like Obama was having kickbacks at the White House. I'd be doing the same shit. I'd be wilding though, because I'd be like, yo, Andrew Jackson, you got some furniture? Like, I'll take a piss on his photo, or his portrait. I'm like, that's for all Native Americans, bro. The Trail of Tears. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give you a trail of beers, dude. Fuck you, bro. Yeah, and that's it, man. So I couldn't do nothing like that, man. Fuck that, man. Government, fuck government, man. Niggas politic ourselves. That's what Jay-Z said. Now on to some less political shit, but still a big battle. All right, Godzilla versus King Kong stomps to a pandemic best $48.5 million opening. They made $48.5 million domestically since opening last Wednesday over the weekend. And movie theaters are only allowed to have 50% capacity or less and they still made a pandemic best $48 million. That's pretty damn good. Because their last movie, it didn't do that good on opening weekend. I want to say the last fucking Kong movie or the last Godzilla movie only made like 48 million, which is fucking hilarious. But so globally, Godzilla vs. Kong made 120 million over the weekend, and now its 2-week total is $285 million. So that's actually pretty damn good for the pandemic. A lot of people have mixed feelings about the movie. Julio, you saw the movie. I'll go ahead and let you go first on this, and I'll give my thoughts after.
So, the story sucked, and but when you try to follow the actual story, the story didn't make fucking sense. But what everyone wanted to see, they saw, was the fight between the two of them. I mean, that's what this was about. You didn't want, like, I have HBO Max, so I didn't go to the movie theater to see it.
Shout out to the Max gang.
But that's what I was looking like. The first fight they had, I don't want to give the movie away. The first fight they had, I was like, oh wow.
Spoiler alert.
I'm like, this shit's crazy. Then the ending fight, but a lot of how they got there was bullshit. I mean, it made absolutely no sense. I mean, I got the whole that there were these large primitive creatures back in the day kind of thing. I understand that, but even if you go back to the first Godzilla movie in this, because they're calling it a monster verse. I don't know if you've been following that Universal.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, well, did the atomic bomb cause this or not? So because it was kind of like, because I thought the first Godzilla, not the Matthew Broderick Godzilla, but this the Godzilla that's in this verse, the first one, I thought that was really good. I actually thought
I liked it.
Yeah, even the second movie with Radon and all of I thought that was good, but again, it was about the fights, right? The story was really second. This story was horseshit. But it made the money it made for several reasons. One, everybody wanted to see Godzilla and King Kong fight. Two, people are sick and tired of being stuck in their houses. So they wanted to go to the movie theaters. Shout out to the movie theaters for having the ability to have private screenings. That is $350 if you do that for their high-end movies, and it could be $500. So that's how they're making their money on a lot of this stuff. People are throwing parties where they, because you can have a max 20 people in the movie theater. People are getting together and throwing a party and doing this thing. So it gave people a chance to have some kind of social gathering. I don't know if people were having fight night parties watching this thing, but that's something that they could have done. Or and I think it's great that the movie theaters have been able to leverage this. Some of these great movies. It sucks that HBO Max decided to. Well, it sucks for most people, not for me, because I can't wait to watch Mortal Kombat. But I think it's been a win for the movie industry that has really, really suffered. But I think there are some of these industries that have suffered during the pandemic. That when we come out of it, people are going to be full blast. They're going to miss going to the movies. They're getting sick of Netflix. I think people are getting sick of the subscription service business altogether, because you have to pay a fee now to watch everything. So if I had to rate the movie, I would give it maybe a 5. If I had to rate the fighting, I'd give it like a 9. And I thought the mega Godzilla, he looked like he was on coke.
I mean, so the one thing I noticed in this movie is that there was no need for any human characters at all, right? Like, I'm still trying to figure out like why there were any human characters in the movie. Like, it's Godzilla versus King Kong. Why am I listening to Millie Bobby Brown, like the girl from Stranger Things? Why is she in the movie? You know what I'm saying? Why is the dad from Friday Night Lights, why is he in the movie? Like, they were in the last movie, or whatever. They serve no fucking purpose. Like, Little Rel, like, it was my other guy from my guy from
he was funny as hell. He was in Widows, and he was in something else.
He's in Atlanta.
He's hilarious as hell.
Yeah.
He was funny as fuck in that.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying like, what the fuck was the whole point of them? Like, they didn't actually do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like they were just running around doing some fucking Spy Kids shit. But it's like their whole shit could have been taken out, and it could have just been the fighting. And then going into backstory more about the actual Titans. Like that's what it should have been. Like I don't want to see humans in my King Kong and guy. I don't care about their stories. Like I'm not watching King Kong to hear about these other people and their interpersonal relationships. I don't care about that, dude. I'm talking about I'm a big ass gorilla, and y'all fucking got me in chains, taking me from my home to some other spot so y'all can go exploit me and get some renewable energy source. That's what it was about, was them exploiting King Kong, you know. And listen, at the end of the day, it was the government getting the black man to fight their war in a different country. That's what it was. The King Kong versus Godzilla is an analogy for the black man having to go fight the Vietnam War. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, you know. Because King Kong, they stole King Kong from his land the same way they stole black Americans or black Africans from Africa, right? And then we come to America, we got no fucking rights, and we got to go fight these goddamn wars in other countries the same way King Kong, they want King Kong to fight their battles for them, but Kong can't get a cab in New York City. You know what I'm saying? King Kong can't go to a fucking lunch counter. You know what I'm saying? Nah, they actually put King Kong on a fucking reservation. You know, what the fuck, man? That's a super hot take. You know, but that's a fucking that's my paranoid take on King Kong vs. Godzilla. But I enjoyed it. I thought the fight scenes were incredible. I'm a fan of monsters and big shit like Pacific Rim, the Godzilla movies, all this shit. I will watch it all the time. I don't give a fuck. If it's big and it's knocking down buildings, I will watch the shit. I'm special in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that kind of shit. And I think they did all of that right. So if I'd have saw this in a movie theater or in IMAX, I would have enjoyed it more than I did. And I enjoyed it a lot watching at home. But yeah, sitting down like in a small screen or on like a big screen TV, but it's like I'm in there and I'm not getting that full cinematic experience with the surround sound and the fucking wind and air and rumbling seats. So I'm actually thinking about the story. And I'm like, yo, this story is dumb as shit. You know, it's like this story makes no fucking sense at all. But yeah, everything else was great. I mean, all the CGI and special effects were awesome. But yeah, just like the people, I'm like, yo, you could cut these. They could have cut 30 minutes out of that shit. You know, out of all these fucking goofball motherfuckers doing stupid shit, man. But
I mean, like the scene, and I'm sorry if I'm about to give a spoiler, but
spoiler alert.
The scene where Godzilla sprays that whatever that is out of his mouth into the core of Earth. Like that was so unbelievable. I mean, that was so unbelievable. Like I'm like, that's to be like, you know, and I don't know, maybe because I took science class, you know, and I know that there's layers in the Earth, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
hollow Earth. It's hollow Earth. It's hollow Earth.
Yeah, I just was saying to myself, what the fuck am I watching? Like what? So this is how they get them back to. I did love the fact that the fighting culminated in Japan. You know, where they were fighting and stuff like that, because it kind of brought a reminiscing to, you know, the old Godzilla movies, and you know. But just some of the shit just was like, I was like, but my man, he was funny as hell. The podcast guy, I thought he was hilarious. Yeah. You know how he was acting like and the girl from Stranger Things, she looked so fucking weird with lipstick on. I swear to God, she did.
I mean, she's 17 now, man. Like she's trying to break out of that, you know, child role, and you know, so that's what you got to expect now. They're going to put in those kind of roles to allow her to blossom into, you know, a star. You know, so salute to her, man. But she shouldn't have been in this movie. There should have been no humans in the movie at all, unless they were like Samuel L. Jackson's character from like Kong Skull Island and shit like that. Like people that were getting like fucking killed and getting murked, you know, that kind of shit, man. But yeah, man. But cause I'm just like, yo, y'all killing a lot of people. You know, I'm like, just not even y'all. It's just Godzilla. He's a fucking dickhead. And so I'm like, yo, y'all, why didn't y'all kill Godzilla? Why y'all let him just get over that bullshit? Like he just fucked up Tokyo for no reason at all. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all just let him walk away. Y'all didn't like nuke his ass or nothing like that. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I mean, there's so many plot holes, but I don't give a fuck, man. Like, I'm just watching that shit to see King Kong punch Godzilla in the fucking shit, and that's what I saw, man. But yeah, man. So I gotta say congratulations, man, to Megan the Stallion. I'm sure you're familiar with Megan the Stallion, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So Megan the Stallion has got a new fragrance with the beauty brand Revlon. This is her first collaboration with Revlon. Uh, yeah, man. April 3rd, she is not only the new face, she has a new fragrance named after her, and it's called Rain On, spelled Reign, like a queen would reign. Rain On. Um, and so her quote is, "Hotties, I am so excited to be the new face of Revlon's Rain On fragrance. This is the ultimate scent that you need to have a hot girl summer." And so when she said this is the ultimate scent that you need to have a hot girl summer, I'm like, well, what is that shit gonna smell like? Is it gonna smell like fucking twerk? Is it gonna smell like twerk sweat and gunpowder? Because that's what I think. Uh, that's what I think is gonna smell like, twerk sweat and gunpowder. That's just me, man. That's probably not politically correct, man. But yo, I don't want any celebrity fragrances. I'm sorry, but I'm also not a woman. You know what I'm saying? And celebrity fragrances happen to do very well. Nicki Minaj has one, Paris Hilton, J Lo, Beyonce, and they all, Rihanna, and they all do well. Women like to smell like other women. Apparently, I've never seen a dude make a scent, and I'm like, yo, I want to smell like that. Like that's Jay Z shit. I want to smell like Jay Z. Oh, fucking Young Jeezy got a cologne. I want to no. I don't know. If Denzel Washington made a cologne, I would not want to use Denzel Washington's cologne. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me. I want some regular motherfucker to make me a cologne. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Denzel didn't make that cologne. He didn't pick those scents. You know what I'm saying? The same way they just brought her some shit and said, yo, it smells like lavender. And she's like, oh, yeah, hot girl summer. Hot girl summer, the scent. It's fucking smell like goddamn. It smell like fucking Don Julio 1942 and fucking maxi pads. That's what a hot girl summer smells like.
They can't afford Don Julio 1942. You mean you don't want it to smell like Strange?
Yeah, it smells like pussy.
You know, pussy. Wet vagina. You heard me.
That's
Wet
what I think. That's
vagina.
what I'm thinking, bro. Like, I don't like what, like, because of all the dancing that she does. Beautiful young woman, but she doesn't look like she smells like good. You know what I'm saying? She looks like she smells like a dancer. You know, like I've never been in a like, and this is perception, right? Perception meeting reality, right? So if you present yourself like a young thotty or a stripper, I assume you smell like a stripper. And sorry, I've never been in a strip club and been like, yo, these bitches smell mad good. You know what I'm saying? It smells like depression.
You don't like the smell of Bed Bath and Beyond? I mean, Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, Bath and Body Works.
You don't like the smell of Bath
and Body Works, cucumber melon. That's what every
Sweet
stripper.
Pea? You don't like the smell of Sweet Pea?
Oh my god, dude! Strippers love some fucking Bath and Body Works shit, dog. That's why I hate that shit. I hate that shit because that's what strippers use. It's so fucking gross. It's like when if you ever drink like alcohol that like got you sick, and anytime you smell it now, you just fucking gag. That's what it is for me. Like when I smell those fucking Bath and Body Works scents, man. Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion, get your money, but I mean, you know, I don't know what this shit's gonna smell like, but you know, hopefully, you know, hopefully it's okay. Your thoughts on Megan Thee Stallion and her new horses don't smell good. So if you tell me, if you say I'm Megan Thee Stallion, I'm gonna assume that's a horse scent. Horses smell like shit. What? For what? I'm making fun of what her scent would smell like based on her fucking rap name. What rapper? Gucci Mane has a cologne. As much as I like Gucci Mane, I don't want to smell like him. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I agree with you, but it's, you know, fragrance, you know, that whole, I mean, I wear cologne, but the whole smelling good has always been a woman thing, right? And while I joke about um Bath and Body Works, that's a big thing. Women go in for their 3 for 15 special because they want to smell like sweet pea and, like you said, vanilla
uh,
suckle. But
cucumber melon, dog.
yeah,
Ah.
but for Megan, I want to congratulate her on being able to ink this deal. I think
Hell
that
yeah.
as someone who has, two young girls, I think it's
Shit smell
important
like
now.
cocoa butter and Hennessy. Fucking bitch.
Cocoa butter and Hennessy. I think it's important that we, continue to uplift and have African American females who are entrepreneurs. The one
Yo,
thing I hope Megan.
that shit smell like fucking Moscato and Planned Parenthood. What the fuck are y'all gonna smell like? That's what a hot girl summer smells like. I'm sorry. I just can't. And if she presented herself a different way, I would, like Rihanna presents herself a different way. I look at Rihanna and she looks like she smells very good. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce.
She doesn't look like she smells like marijuana to you,
Rihanna?
Rihanna? Yeah,
no. I think even Rihanna's like on her bummy days, she still looks like she smells like all weed doesn't stink. First off, and this kind of shit that Rihanna would smoke probably smells like fucking God's fucking armpits, and that smells good as fuck. She probably smokes weed that smells like baby powder or something. Who fucking knows? But no, she looks like she smells really good. Like Beyonce looks like she smells really good. Women that are like dancers, like, oh God, like Tiana Taylor, right? Beautiful, beautiful woman. But because she's a dancer, she looks like she smells like an active person. So like not like stanky, but like how like a woman that just fucking worked out or danced. They're like they're active. They're fuck, man.
They're musty.
I wasn't saying that. I'm not saying
that's
that.
When you say active, you say musty.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
No, it's not a bad smell. Like let me chill. No, I'm about to incriminate myself. Mm-hmm. No, it's like a woman. I like women that work out, right? And after my lady works, that's why when I am in a committed monogamous relationship, I like to work out with my girl. And so after she works out and she's like sweaty and like has like that aroma, the pheromones are active, that's what it is. Like that's attractive to me, but not like stripper sweat. And that's what Meg looks like. She smells like stripper sweat. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't seem like it smells good to me, man. Like
well, I want to add this one point.
It smells like fucking the Popeye's chicken sandwich and fucking Edge Control. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
We're gonna get a cease and desist order. No, I just was gonna say I hope that in her deal that she gets some type of royalty attached. Mm-hmm. I hope it's not just some. I think that's one of the things that people miss, that when they're doing deals, they just get the money and they really want to get the money plus a royalty. So that money's and that the royalty's in perpetuity. So they'll always have that income that's coming in. I don't know if she'll be selling hot girl perfume when she's 65, but you just always want to have something like that attached. But good for her. I just hope it doesn't smell like sweet pea,
Yeah, I mean, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful young woman. She seems to be in a healthy relationship right now with another rapper. But yeah, man, I'm happy, I'm glad to see her making her money. I'm glad to see her doing her thing. This is a huge moment, for her to have her own perfume at such early in her career, and super proud. But yeah, man, I'll be interested to see what it smells like, man. But speaking of smelling things in the air, my guy, and when I say my guy, I absolutely cannot fucking stand Paul Pierce. He is a human keloid. I fucking do not like Paul Pierce. He's a fucking hater. He's always been a hater. All he does is hate on LeBron and Kobe. And he's one of the worst NBA analysts in the history of life itself. He fucking sucks. He's always saying wrong shit on the broadcast and getting corrected. And that's like a running joke and a recurring theme when he's broadcasting, right? But Paul Pierce just got fired from his post as an ESPN analyst following his ill-advised decision to stream a live video of himself playing poker and partying with a couple strippers last Friday night. The Boston Celtics legend has since taken to Twitter to send out his immediate reaction to the development, and he's apparently happy about it. You know, so to give a little context, what happened was that he went on his IG live and was playing poker with some of the boys, and they had strippers and they had some Hennessy and they had some marijuana and some of that rap hippity hop music, and they're partying, man. They're chilling. The strippers are massaging dudes. He's smoking. He's hella high, hella drunk, and he's on his live stream. This shit wasn't leaked. It was him choosing to go on live, or whether it was accident or whatever. But he's on. He knew he was on live because he was talking to the fucking camera. So he's on live, and then a couple of days later, ESPN fires him, and people are like trying to defend Paul Pierce, like, oh, you guys allow X, Y, Z, and blah 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 blah. It's like, well, look, man. First off, ESPN is owned by fucking Disney. Disney has a very, very hard anti-marijuana stance. If you work for Disney, you can't smoke marijuana. You can't use marijuana at their parks. And then Robert Downey Jr. actually got fined like 50 grand for smoking like CBD at one of the parks when he was getting the fucking award for being Iron Man. And they threatened to take him off of the movie for this shit, for smoking a marijuana product in public while under contract with Disney. So yeah, man, Disney fired his ass for being on a live stream, smoking weed, partying with strippers, cursing and acting a goddamn fool. And that bro, if you're hired by a corporation like that, there's code of conduct and ethics policies. So I would have fired him too. That's just me. If I was a barber, if I was a barbershop owner and he had a chair in my shop and he was on his live doing that, I would have fired him too, because what you're doing, you're a representation of my company. You know what I'm saying? If you're under contract with me, so you reflect poorly on me. I'm hiring a fucking idiot like you. So I gotta fire you, man. You're making bad choices. It's not about whether and for me, it's not about the weed or the women and them like that. It's like, yo, you gotta understand you are responsible for your actions. So if you know that you're in some kind of you're in a white collar job for a super conservative company, you can't do shit like that. It's like if I work for Chick-fil-A, I can't go to the fucking gay pride rally. You know what I'm saying? Like it's certain shit that flows with how the company with their vision and their code of conduct, their code of ethics, man. So, shout out to Paul Pierce. He'll probably get hired by Barstool Sports because they like going after, athletes like that. And he got fired, man. So what? He's fucking rich. He made over $20 million playing basketball. I don't have any sympathy for a guy going on his fucking live, partying with strippers and getting fired by fucking Disney. That's just me. Paul Pierce, eat a dick. Your thoughts on your thoughts on the Negro being a Negro? You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Well,
they should have never gave you niggas money.
he was reliving his youthful days in Boston. That's all he was doing. I mean, at the end of the day, but he does work for a huge conglomerate. Disney is a huge conglomerate. No matter what TV channels he's on. At the end of the day, his master is Disney. And so if Disney says don't do this, then you can't do this. Think about all the money that Robert Downey Jr. brought into the franchise of the Avengers, and they were almost willing to get rid of him behind this. And so, we have to be, unless you're your own boss, we all have someone that we have to report to. And Paul learned the hard way that, when you report to someone, there's certain things you can't do. The problem is Paul's not going to get the kind of money that he was getting with the contract that he had with Disney because his value's down now. People, they're going to get him pennies on the dollar, and that's that sucks for him. But hopefully it's a life lesson for other people. And I think there's another lesson in this, is that not everything needs to be on fucking social media.
No,
That
it
is the
doesn't.
big, and not, you don't have to put every fucking thing on social media. You don't have to go live every fucking time. You know who goes live all the time? Cornballs. Because they don't have nothing fucking better to do.
Yeah.
Cornballs. I mean, if you're constantly going live,
Yeah.
you're a fucking cornball. You always have to put your business out there like that. I've never, there are things that I have done and places that I have been. I don't need to put that shit on social media. I don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't have
Yeah,
to go
man.
live.
Man, hey man, cloud is a new currency, man. You know what I'm saying? Cloud is a new currency. And motherfuckers, man, they don't, and it's something that you notice with relationships as well, man. Like people don't want the love, man. They want the likes, and
Mm.
that's why they gotta go on live. That's why they gotta put all their issues on social media. Or if they got the new boo or whatever, they gotta put that up there. Or if they break up, they gotta put that up there to get that fucking clout, man. Get that currency.
Mhm.
That's the new crypto. That's the new crypto for these motherfuckers, man. So, I don't know what to say about that, man. Shout out to Paul Pierce. You know, you're a fucking idiot, and you got what you fucking deserve. My dad is all like, oh, my dad is a troll. He's a fucking online troll. You know what I'm saying? And he'll put shit up. He'll put shit up that he doesn't agree with, and he'll do it for the purpose of just getting a reaction out of people while he's not invested in it at all. And I'm like, dude, like that's fucking trolling, bro. Like you're an old man. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't be doing that. Because it works on me. Because I'll DM his ass and I'll be like, bro, because I'll hit him up because sometimes I'll just go in there and just call it out right there. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll DM him like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Or I'll tell my sisters like, yo, like get your dad's fucking phone from him. Like take him off of the internet. You know what I'm saying? Putting up some goofy ass shit like that. But nah, man, it's social media, man. It's crazy, man, because it's like because I'm looking at it now and it's like, what I do, I get asked the question like, would I be worried if an employer, heard my podcast or listen to my music, whatever like that. And my answer to that is I don't fucking care. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm beyond that stage. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm not trying to get into any kind of career path or career field that would be anything I need to worry about. Is somebody digging that far into, my past or whatever. And I don't really do shit that's problematic. You know what I'm saying? Except give my well-researched opinion. So that's it, man. Like, yeah, I mean, do you is that a concern you have, being a corporate guy, is McDonald's hearing that you ate a Popeye chicken sandwich 4 times. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean I gotta test the product, right? I gotta do market research to make sure that they to see what the product is like. I'm not gonna say that I'm careful with my words, but you know, there are there's probably topics that I wouldn't be discussing. I wouldn't say that I'm a corporate guy. I'm an independent franchisee. But my views are my views. And if there are views that I think that I don't think you have to share all your views with the world either. Yes, I'm on this podcast, but I decided to get on it because one, I thought it would be interesting to be on it with you and Isaiah and just kind of, like particularly when we did the first one, I thought that was, the dialogue on it. And I think that though at the same time, you can have your views, but you don't maybe have to share everything of how you feel. There's things that certain ways that I feel about certain things, but I'm not the only people that probably the only person that probably knows all my true views on things is my wife. Larissa knows a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I say and do that she only hears, and she gives me this look. And I'm like, well, I'm only saying it to you, Larissa. Like I'm being serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't think you have to be free with everything of how you're feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people are like, well, you're not really being real if you don't. No, that's not necessarily true. Sometimes what I have, and I was the opposite of that, where I would constantly say things that I shouldn't probably be saying to people, or
that's when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And what you have to realize is sometimes you need to just shut the fuck up and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I need to just keep that in my head. And I had to learn that way later in life, like after college. That came way later in life, where I just said, you know what, I know what I'm thinking, but I'm just not going to say it. And it's okay. It's it's okay to be like that. It's not being real. I think I'm pretty real.
Yeah, I think it's okay to be measured in some regards,
Yeah, that's a good word
and
for it.
yeah, because I know like with some things, like I know if I have like a contradictory opinion as somebody as something, then I know it's just only going to lead to like inflammatory conversation. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, yo, I have no reason to offer my opinion on this subject at all. Like I have no reason to engage you in any conversation ever about this subject, right? Let's say if you have like a coworker or a friend or a family member that's like severe, like super anti LGBTQAI plus minus division sign, right? And they're like, yo, I don't like that shit. Yeah, man, like you don't ever have to talk to them at all, ever, about that subject, right? And it's cool. Like, and if they start talking about that shit, you don't have to like, unless they're saying something like offensive, you don't have to jump in and engage them at all. You can just like, you know what, you got it, bro, because I'm never going to change your mind. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to change your mind. Like you can believe what you want to believe is cool. I don't ever have to engage you in discussion about that, man. And that, bro, that pisses so many people off because that takes power away from them. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't like control you with that conversation. You know what I'm saying? They can't like steer you they can't like spin you up. You know what I'm saying? Or fucking get you riled up and shit, man. It's kind of funny, man. But yeah, it's it's just some shit that people been asking me just about like some of the opinions I give. They may be counter to what mainstream America thinks. Or what a potential employer would like. Me personally, I don't care. I don't want to be employed. I want to be a bum the rest of my life. I don't want to ever work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be hired by anybody. I want to make a small income that's sustainable, that I can be comfortable with, and my daughter can be well taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. I don't want to be rich. I want freedom. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. But yeah, I think we covered everything except the verses. Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire versus. Did you watch it?
Nah.
I didn't either. And I'm gonna tell you why I didn't watch it. Because I'm not 50 fucking years old. That's why I didn't watch it. Shout out to them.
80
or 80. Shout out to them. And they got incredible music. This is not a comment on their music, right? They got phenomenal music, phenomenal records, but they're not the Isley Brothers in Earth, Wind, and Fire. They're old ass men now, right? And so yeah, they're still the same guys. Niggas still sing, blah 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 blah. But I don't want to see an 80-year-old man on stage singing. That's just not my thing. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't, like, I would, the same way I wouldn't want to see an 80-year-old woman on stage singing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Unless like the Patti LaBelle versus, I didn't watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not 80 years old. I don't want to see that shit. It did well. It did numbers, and everybody's talking about it, and that's great. But my whole thing is this, man. Like, listen, I don't wear Depends. All right. I don't wear adult diapers. I don't wear fucking dentures. I don't have an 8-track player. I don't drive a fucking Oldsmobile. I'm not old as shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So listen, much respect to them. I love their music, but I don't want to see a bunch of old men on TV. And then it's not on Apple TV anymore, right? Because Versus sold they sold the IP to Triller, and the Triller app for Apple TV doesn't work. Right, so you can't watch it on the Triller app on Apple TV, and then you gotta watch it on the phone and stream it, and then you're only watching it in the small ratio. I can't get it. When Versus was on Apple TV, you could get it in widescreen, HD, crystal clear audio, and then now I'm stuck back watching it on the phone, that's not what I want to do anymore. I don't want to watch this shit on the phone, and that's the other reason why I didn't watch it, because that happened with the Ghostface Raekwon battle. You could only watch it on the phone, and that made me not enjoy the battle as much as I could have. And I'm like, it's not. I can't watch it on my TV. I don't want to watch it at all. That's just me. Your thoughts on that?
So I'm my thoughts are more in line with, I think it was what and I'm going by what I saw on social media, right? Um, I think that it was great that they got their flowers,
Mhm.
right? These are older singers, acts, and it's great that they're able to get their flowers. Now, some of my wokesters aren't going to like what I'm about to say, because I saw something on social media that I really like turned my face up. And it goes back to, you know, letting them have their flowers, but and then someone makes a comment, well, how could they sing songs that R. Kelly wrote? And I'm sitting there saying, like, what the fuck are we doing here, guys?
Like, bitch,
You
shut up.
like, I mean, what are we doing here, guys? Do you listen to Aaliyah's first album?
Yeah, R.
Do
Kelly
you
wrote
still
that
listen
shit.
to that? Do you still listen to that? That's what pisses me off about woke nation. Okay,
Yeah.
these wannabe wokesters. You have something here that you have two icon acts who put on, from what I saw, and I saw little clips of my man Ron Isley, with the beard, and
Yeah.
and all these young women was getting wet over him and shit like that.
You
And
nasty
so,
bitches.
and
You're trying
so,
to fuck
and
my grandpa.
and so, so I thought that was great. I'm like, wow, people are finding, Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley Brothers. I think it's great. And then I would happen to see on social media, I saw the comment, how could they sing songs that R. Kelly wrote? I mean, come on, man. Like, let
Yeah.
these guys get their flowers.
Yeah.
What do they have to do with him? Nothing. Now, granted, there's a link there because he did help resurrect Ron Isley in the early
Hmm.
'90s, and so
Yeah.
forth. But Ron ain't got nothing to do with that. The Isley brothers don't have nothing to do with that. That it pissed me off when I saw that. I must say, I looked at it and I just was like, here we fucking go again. Here we fucking go. Lean right liberals. Here we fucking go.
Yeah. But I mean, folks knew, because it was just a rumor when we were kids when all this shit was going on. But it was like we knew about the rumors that R. Kelly and Aaliyah got married back when we were fucking kids. So the adults at the time had to hear the same shit, and they had to have more, like, the marriage license was available. I remember seeing that shit in the Source magazine. You know what I'm saying? And that shit was available back then. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, if so, I can see how people would be upset about the whole R. Kelly shit, but I also can see where you're like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, you just, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's a fucking song that they sang. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
R. Kelly didn't go to trial at the time, so are they supposed to only go off of speculation, or allegations that no one has actually filed a formal complaint about? You know what I mean? So, and that's the other thing, right? It's like, well, what do you do? Like, what do you do? What's true and what's not true? You know what I'm saying? So, but that's, yeah, I didn't I didn't, I watched, some of the highlights of it, but I wasn't about to sit there and watch that shit in non HD, non widescreen, and watch a bunch of old ass men on fucking screen. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm not doing that, man. The next verses is I think it's on 420, is Method Man and Redman. Um, Spoiler alert, I'm not watching that either. You know what I'm saying? That's just what's like, until that shit is on fucking widescreen, I'm not watching it. I think, like you said earlier, people are tired of subscription shit. People are tired of watching this versus shit. And not having it like the next level. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like crystal clear, widescreen, HD audio, fucking, where it's interactive. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe they should let the audience pick the fucking songs, have like an active poll, because that's been like a thing, is like song selection has been trashed. So it's like, yo, let the fans pick the fucking songs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That way hey, I shouldn't be giving them that IP. I'm giving them away free IP right now, man. Let me take that back. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
DM fucking Swiss Beats, man. But yeah, you got to take it to the next level, man. And the way I see it now is I see it getting like a little watered down now, you know. But so there's a question, man. Um, would you be interested in seeing white people on verses, or white artists on verses?
Um, I'm trying to think. Uh, if this was 20 years ago, maybe I'd like to see Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue.
Okay.
Right? Wouldn't that have been a good one? Right?
I mean, listen, if we could go back 20 years, then yeah, there'd be a lot.
I mean, there could be, like, I'd like to hear November Rain. I don't know about anybody else, but that's one of my favorites from Guns N' Roses. But yeah, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Nirvana. I mean,
Nirvana's not an active band because
Kurt Cobain is I know, dead. But I'm thinking of though. I don't know any Caucasian groups from that are now.
Well, I mean, because it'd be hard for me to say that because all the acts that I want to see would be older acts, like the Rolling Stones. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd want to see them, but it's like they go against the Beatles, only 2 of them left. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you get like Phil Collins and who else? But it's like Phil Collins is old as fuck right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to have him go against like what, Sting, who's also old as fuck. Like I want to see like David Bowie, but he's fucking dead. You know what I'm saying? He passed away, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? So I think versus is a dope concept, man, for hip hop because our music is still so young. Like our legends are only in their 40s and 50s, but then now when we extend it to R&B, we see it's a big jump. Like our oldest act in hip hop is like 50 years old right now, and then we have the verses with the R&B acts; they're like 80. You know what I'm saying? Like
that music is old.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, could you imagine Queen in the verses?
Queen, Queen.
Could you imagine that?
Like Queen versus the Clash or something like that, man. Like, So I think I wouldn't want to see like any pop acts or anything like that. But you could definitely.
You don't want to see NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. You don't want to see that one.
I didn't rock with any of them, man. You know who I wouldn't mind seeing. But the one guy fucking died, man. He committed suicide, man, from Linkin Park. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'd have been like Linkin Park and like Limp Bizkit. Like that would be a good versus, you know what I'm saying? Or like Linkin Park and like Green Day. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to get 2 acts that are like super close to each other, but not like
as we're talking about this, because to me the most famous white artist is Eminem. So who would he go up against?
Vanilla Ice. No. I mean, God, I wouldn't. I don't think Eminem couldn't. If Eminem did a versus, he would lose. You know what I'm saying? And it's not because Eminem doesn't have good records; they just don't hit the same, right? And so, and it's like Eminem could do a versus if he only stuck with the material from the first 2 albums. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when I considered him hip hop. And when I
remember Torian. I remember.
And I thought he was like a good artist. And
you thought he was a fucking god.
Not like that. I wasn't an M fan like that.
You were rapping that shit.
He can rap. He can rap. I still remember all the first 2 albums. I still remember verbatim. You know what I'm saying? He was dope. He was a lyricist back then, but then once the drugs got in, and his battles with addiction, that's when the fucking material for me took a huge fucking dive. And then I guess it came back. I don't know. I don't listen to the shit. I stopped listening after he was already rich and still talking about killing his mom and his wife or girlfriend, like all that weirdo shit. I'm like, yo, I'm good, man. And then like he just talked about gay shit too much for me, bro. Like, bro, I'm not trying to, like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's funny to make gay jokes, but I don't want to like hear you rap as like a gay character, bro. Like talking about gay shit. Like, I don't want to hear that, man. Like, I'm good, bro. Like, yo. Yeah. But nah, Eminem, he could, if it was rap, then Eminem would go against somebody that came in the same because he came in 98. I want to say was when he came in the game. First album was
Bubba Sparks.
No, you got to have somebody that has records. And you can't just say like, yo, it's going to be a white person. But if it was like Eminem, okay, white rapper versus like white artist, and it'd be Eminem and Timberlake. So you take a white artist that did black music versus a white artist that did black music. So Eminem versus Justin Timberlake. Timberlake wins that. But if Eminem was going against like a Jay-Z or a Nas or like a top tier rapper from his era, he would lose 100 times because, bro, like his records don't slap like that. They don't hit like go back and listen to that shit now, right? Go back and listen to the Eminem records that you thought was dope. And you're gonna be like, yeah, he can rap, but they didn't age well, you know what I'm saying, at all, you know. And it's like I listen to old Jay-Z, or I listen to old Biggie, or old Nas, or even like LL Cool J, like all these older rappers from that era. And it's like, yo, motherfuckers was rapping about shit that's still relevant. And it's like, what was M talking about? Killing his wife and girlfriend, killing
his mom.
You know what I'm saying? Like doing mushrooms and shit.
You know what Versus reminds me of, and I'm dating myself for the people who might be listening to this. We're
millennials.
Yeah, we're real millennials. Is Unplugged. You know, MTV's Unplugged. You know, that's what Versus is. It's unplugged, but you just have two acts that are going to get, you know, going against each other. And Unplugged for its time was it was innovative, you know, because you were listening to that artist's their life, you know, their musical life and it was really, you know, really, it was deep, you know, except for Lauryn Hill's. I was very disappointed in because she was losing her mind. But, you know, that's what Versus kind of reminds me of is MTV Unplugs a lot. But, you know, I mean, I've only watched one of them, I think it was. And that was because Larissa forced me to. And then I was like, I don't want to watch this shit. Maybe having too much technical issues. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Too many technical issues. I just, you know, if you're going to do it right. And like you said, Torian, you got to be on the right platform to do this stuff. Yeah. You know, and if you're not with the biggies, which is like Netflix, Amazon, Apple, Hulu, the ones that really have that technology to withstand, you know, the streaming capability of people jumping onto these sites, it's really hard. I think it's a great idea. It's unfortunate that none of these larger platforms picked it up, you know. You know,
Facebook could have got Versus, man. Facebook could have bought Versus, and that would have helped them out a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it would have stayed on Instagram if Facebook would have bought it. But you know, they let another app buy the shit, and then you know, it's something that started on their app. Like you let another business be built on your IP and then be sold to a competitor. So you got to be kicking yourself in the fucking ass because now it's like. Because now because Triller owns Versus and now Instagram has to license Versus from Triller to have it still on IG, and so it's like, bro, you had this shit for free, and now you got to fucking pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So sucks. I mean, it sucks for them, man. But good business for Swiss Beats and Timbaland. But yeah, I mean, listen, man, I don't want you 80-year-old motherfuckers getting up here anymore, man. Versus is a hip hop thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to see, bro. I don't want to see Dionne Warwick up there. You know what I'm saying? That's my fear is that we're gonna have all these acts that are like old as shit up there for no fucking reason. Like, no, with them, you just do a concert for them. Just have them up there and they can do their records, or they get other people, other younger artists to do their records, or other artists they've influenced to do their records. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to go in there, bro. Like, I have no desire to. I'm sorry, dude. I'm not trying to. Nah, man. I like the older music, but I like to remember the older music being sung by them at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see. Like, that's like if they had the Temptations on Versus. It ain't the Temptations. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, fuck. Or they had like Drew Hill, and it ain't like the original members of Drew Hill. Like, I don't want to see that shit. Like, you better have Cisco, Nokio, the fat dude, and the dude.
The fat dude.
You know what I'm saying? the one that left the group, that went to church and left. You know what I'm saying? The big dude. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I think that's everything on the docket for today, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that's 2 hours. That's enough. That's almost two fucking hours, man. But yeah, it was a couple technical difficulties in this shit. I don't know what happened to the internet, but you fixed it. Yeah, I mean, you know, besides that and the fucking dog barking in the background, it's
They'll
something,
deal with
man.
it.
Yeah, hey, man, listen, this shit is free. This shit is free, man. What the fuck you expect? This shit is free. All right. And this shit is live. I'm not editing nothing. I'm not editing anything out. So if you want to complain about any technical difficulties, yo, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? That's my advice. Pick a different podcast. Fuck you. You got anything to say to the people before we leave?
Make sure you try the new crispy chicken sandwich at McDonald's. Get the
God,
deluxe with pickle and cheese on it.
Listen, shout out to Popeyes and their crispy chicken. They got a Cajun fish sandwich now. I had that as well.
I had that, and it's not good. And I'm being honest, that's not good. It tastes like it's batter. Just how can you use the same batter for the chicken that you're using for the fish? It don't work.
Yes, it does. That's what I want. I wanted it to taste like something that I've already accepted into my life, like my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right? So I want the same batter. Like, yo, if you know this batter works for the chicken, use that shit on everything. Put that shit on the French fries. I want everything to taste like that goddamn chicken sandwich.
The way I season my fish is different than the way I season my chicken. It's different. I use different seasonings. I use lemon pepper. I use
as a person, not as you as McDonald's.
Well, no, I'm talking about me as a person. I'm the consumer. That's how the fuck I want it. I don't want it like how they're serving it. And
what does McDonald's fish sandwich taste like? The fish fillet?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Your favorite. It's the best.
The fish fillet.
Yeah. Get it the way, if you're gonna get the fish fillet, get it the way I eat it. Extra tartar, lettuce, tomato, onions, and extra cheese. That's the way I get it.
Yeah, you know who has a garbage fish sandwich? Burger King. Yo.
I'm gonna tell you something real. I used to love Burger King's Whoppers. Like when we was kids.
They were good.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was.
The meat was better. But the meat was better. It was Frank Gordon.
And I would get a double with extra cheese on it, and then I just stopped eating it because I was getting the runs all the time from eating it. And I used to love their croissant sandwiches, but you know, I'm anyway. Back to what I was saying. Order the new crispy chicken sandwich. Get the deluxe with cheese. Tell them to add cheese and pickles. That's the way Hoot eats it. Tell them you want the Hoot version. All right.
If you tell them that at McDonald's, they're gonna look at you like a fucking idiot. They're gonna be like, "Who is this crackhead?" Like he must have been hanging out with Demi Lovato, obviously, coming in here asking for the Hoot fucking chicken sandwich. Yeah, they're gonna call the cops on your ass so fucking quick. Yeah, man. I ain't got shit, man. I don't have anything to say, man. All I got to say is you know, continue, all you people out there, continue to be safe. The pandemic is real. We're not through it yet. Just continue to be safe, continue to be responsible. If you're a libertarian, fuck you. And that's it, man. You know, fuck being woke. Should have never been asleep. Peace. We are